Good day to you all. Tis a very special day. I'm back at my old high school. Before I was the Stoganator, or what some of you would call me, Logie Double Stogie. Oh man, it was great to be back. And I say that mostly because I'm a completely different person. I went to high school reunion about 2 years ago. And it was really weird because I told myself all these things about what it was going to be like, but nobody actually really knew. So everyone was curious to go, but nobody wanted to be there. It was so weird. And I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I was relatively popular in high school, but I had a despisement, if that's even a word, for the very popular kids. I just despised them. And I had all these groups I would go to, and I would float around, and I would never subscribe to one group. There were a lot of people who were in these cliques. And so I had fun doing that. And I was on the water polo team, and I had a bunch of friends from the water polo team, but I never, even with the water polo team and those guys that I hung out with, I still had other friends that I was hanging out with. But so when I went to the high school reunion, I had a chip on my shoulder, and it's funny because the same people I disliked me because I disliked them. So it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And going to the high school reunion was so weird because I did try my best to go, hey, I'm gonna go into this as open as possible and just have some cool conversations with people. But I do think there was a part of me that was like, screw even being here. I'm too cool for this. But then I want to show you that I'm cool. It's like, well, that's really effective at nobody liking you. So it was interesting, very interesting. But what I want to say about being back is like, if I went back to the high school reunion today, it would be completely different for me. Maybe not for everyone else, but for me, it'd be completely different. It would be way more fun, and I'd just figure out a way to connect with people deeper. And if we don't get along and don't connect, I'd just keep small talking and not have some superiority complex. It was interesting though because of the people I did try and connect with, only one person started asking me questions about the life I was living because pretty much everyone follows each other on Facebook anyway. Only one person out of all the people I talked to. And I'm like, just kind of weird. And what I came to realize is if people don't go chase their dreams, they will not even talk about it in front of other people anymore. Because if they ask someone about the dreams that they're living, they now have to face the fact that they're not living theirs, and it's very daunting. So the pressure of doing that, it's easier to just avoid on a subconscious level than to say, hey, I don't actually like the life I'm living. I'm scared, but I do want to do this thing and I want to talk about it. It's completely different. I was with my dad yesterday. He goes, I actually asked him, I said, what what's one piece of advice you would give your 30-year-old self? And he goes, well, for you it'd be different because you're going for it. And I'm like, no. What is one piece of advice you give your 30-year-old self if I'm not in the picture at all? And he goes, when opportunity comes, take it immediately. Do not second guess. Go for it. Yeah, I just see so many people um, living with these excuses that they rationalize. It's like, let's just call a spade a spade. It's an excuse. You want to be excused from having to do the hard thing, so you make an excuse. If you accept the excuse, then you have to accept the fact that you don't actually want to change. Cool, cool. That's actually a great place to start. Very good place to start. But being back at this high school, it's really nice for me because I'm like, man, the hero's journey I went on, there's so much shit I went through traveling abroad to try and find myself, and now I'm back at this place that I grew up in, and I'm like, I don't need to change any of it. I don't need to complain about any of it. Some of these parts back here are exactly the same as when I grew up, and it's nostalgic. And other parts are brand new. It's like cool. Things change and grow, and some things stay the same. It's life. The best part about all of this is being able to feel into who I am now compared to what I was. That's the best part. And that's actually one of the main reasons I was interested in the high school reunion. I wasn't betting against anyone. I've always been a person that I want everyone to win as long as they're not a schemer. But I was definitely like, I want to see people's transformations, and I don't want to see them for the worse. There may be a couple people I thought about that way, and I'm like, hey, Logan, don't be a douche. But I wanted to see the transformations. I wanted to see like, oh yeah, this person is going for it. And I was, maybe my expectations are too high, but I was definitely, I wouldn't even say not impressed, just kind of saddened. It was almost like someone was playing a violin the whole time I was there. It's just like, people, go for it. Go for it. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We are not like this is, I don't know how to get it into people's heads. This is one fucking life. Or at least in this reality that we're living in right now, you got one game you get to play. How are you going to play it? How are you going to play it? Even I'm playing small right now. I'm gonna make a whole nother video on this. I got my balls back though. I got my balls back. They're back. It's taking me some time to freaking retrieve those things. It's been absolutely absurd the amount of shit that we have to deal with as men and women in this society. The amount of people trying to poison us. And I'm not going to get in some big psyop rant, but it's the feminism propaganda. It's the toxins in the air. It's the fucking chemtrails that they're spraying, and people just aren't even doing anything. It's like we're getting aluminum sprayed all over our air, and nobody's even batting an eye. It's like cool. That being said, a lot of people are waking up to this, but I mean, retrieving my balls has been, God, absolute nightmare. It's like if someone were to ask me, what, Logan, what's the process of retrieving your balls? I don't even know where to go about, because my process of retrieving my balls is gonna be different than another guy's. Some guys are just born with balls, and it's like cool, but for me, it took a long time to develop them. Late bloomer, and I don't mean from a fertility perspective. That's always worked. I mean from like, this is my reality. This is how I'm gonna live it. I'm not doing things that way. Uh, no, I'm not jumping into that career path. No, I'm not doing that. I do projects with people this way. It's just like really being a fucking man. And there's men with balls who are super viral and like very vital, who they don't have the balls to speak. So I'm not just saying like the return of the balls in one essence. I'm saying the return of the balls of like, what is the essence of a real man? And it's like just absolute ability to just speak truth all the time. All the time. I just went up to the lady at the counter. I just looked her dead in the eye. I go, look, hey, look. How is anyone at this gym supposed to get high tea listening to Ed Sheeran? I'm like, she's Mexican. I'm like, hey, can you at least put some Bad Bunny on? She's like, I can't do anything. I'm like, this is what's wrong with our country. It's just that. It's just having the balls to like joke around not take life too seriously, but also when things get serious, you can just sit in the pocket and go, nope, that's not happening. Nope, I'm not letting that happen. And for a man in this reality, our balls have been stripped from us for many reasons. But what's the main reason? Control. This country was founded off of men with the biggest balls ever. Like, how big do your balls have to be for you to go, we're going to go to war for a 3% tax? No one's taking our shit. And we're at like 35%, depending on what state you're in. Plus, um, it's not even factoring in inflation. So everyone here is just a frog in boiling water. And slowly you begin to realize, oh, yeah, I don't have my balls anymore. So we have to reignite the balls. We have to bring the balls back, make balls big again. That's I'm getting that hat. I got to write that down. Make balls big again. Because this is some bullshit. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. And I'll tell you this. We have been absolutely stripped of community. Absolutely stripped. And everyone I'm talking to wants to bring it back, and it's dope because we are really ushering in there's going to be a fraction that happens. It's going to be a split between people that want to live in Hollywood doo-doo land. And I don't mean that by the place. I mean it by the how would I describe this? I mean it by the astral feeling of it being extremely robotic. So there's gonna be people that just want to stay in the matrix and stay plugged into this fake thing. And then there's the other ones who want to retrieve their balls and their ovaries, and they want to build a new reality, and they want to do it with other people, because at the end of the day, if you build a new reality and you're sitting in a glass house by yourself, what's the point? And we as humans, we do not evolve without other people pushing us. It's so simple. It's just get in groups with cool people doing cool shit that inspires you, and your life will change. I can't count. I could not even tally up. I don't know how long it would take. How many times I've just sat with someone and I see them doing something a certain way, and I just go, "Wow, I never thought in a million years to do it that way." It's infinitely like better, smarter, cooler, funnier, whatever. And that is what we've been stripped of, is our ability to see other people and be like, "Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool that this human behaves this way." And ultimately, we unite on a mission to be sovereign individuals and to be free and to have our balls back and to be men and to be beautiful, divine, feminine women who are connected and not just hooked up to the mainstream propaganda machine. When that happens, what's the world look like? But men, how are we going to create this? The women aren't going to create it. You hear all these guys in the red pill community, they're like, this woman has to be feminine or I'm not going to date her. Well, how do you think that you just start dating a woman and she's feminine? Like, how are you going to attract a very feminine woman? Sure, you might be able to fly down to Colombia and get lucky on a scratch and sniff, or meet some barrio chick. But for a very high quality feminine woman who hasn't been indoctrinated, you have to be a man. She ain't gonna give the keys to the kingdom up after one night at the bowling alley. You got to be a man, and you got to lead her. And if you're a leader, you could lead women back to victory. And we need women more than ever. There's such a, not only is the feminist propaganda there, there's the red pill, and they're both the same thing. And so I've learned from various women who are of the older generations, and they study a lot with like the Hopi tribe. The Hopi tribe is very, very beautiful, but not warriors at all. So a lot of the stuff related to getting the land back and the soil back is like, we got to have the essence of women, which is creation, to help us like really usher in a new era of beauty, abundance, and in abundant soil and fertility. Essentially, that's what the feminine represents, is fertility and creation. And how can we do that if our men are fucking soft and don't have balls anymore? So much stuff to say. There's someone I know, and I was going down this path too. A lot of people in the spiritual community, they start going down the path of, I just want to ascend, I want to become a monk in the Himalayas and just renounce everything. And that's cool. I think there are monks that are potentially putting out a frequency that is maybe protecting the ones going to get their balls back. But I also know there are monks that are trapped in a loop as well. If you want to go deep into that stuff, watch my videos on ayahuasca. But they're going to be monks that they instead of them grounding themselves into, I have to exist in this reality, it's actually easier for some of these people to go sit in a cave and just try and find enlightenment. And it's one of the biggest forms of spiritual bypassing. I can't tell you how many monks do this. There are plenty of monks that it's like, that guy's a savage for doing that. I met this guy in Rio de Janeiro. He was a Russian dude. He was into all this esoteric stuff. He goes, I'm going to be a monk one day. And I go, why? He goes, I go, why not now? Why not just go there now? He goes, I want to first master the material world to the point where I can make a lot of money and have all the things. And from that point, when I have everything, I'm going to renounce. And he goes, there's nothing more powerful than renouncing from a place of power than being a person who is renouncing because they're a victim of reality. And I'm like, dude, that is savage. That is savage. That's the level. Because essentially what he's saying is, there's a lot of people who are spiritually bypassing. So instead of them going into the spiritual world, which is being grounded here and interacting with people, what do? Oh no, I'm just going to go up in the Himalayas. And then what do they say? I'm here to protect the consciousness of humanity. I'm here to reach enlightenment. And then they spend their whole entire life going for enlightenment. They find enlightenment. And then it's like, well, are you going to bring that back to anyone? Are you going to help anyone with that? Buddha did a great job doing this. He found it, and then his whole life was service. That's it. Service to God. So there's these people now that are like, I was falling for this trap. I'm just going to be celibate. I'm going to retain my seed for as long as possible, and I'm going to master this reality. Or I'm going to retain my seed for as long as possible, and then I'm going to call in my queen. You know how you call in your queen? Go to the mall and start cold approaching chicks. Do that for years until you're a different man. And then when you cold approach them, they'll actually, first you got to get their number. Okay. After you get their number, that's when it really begins. Good luck. So I would actually argue there are some guys that can be watching this that are just going to be busting up laughing, because I know a lot of guys where chicks has never been a problem for them. It's just been like super easy. For me, big problem. I learned actually quite recently, probably 4 months ago, I talked to this really wise woman. She's like, I get the feeling that you love women, but you don't like them. I go, whoa. I go, she goes, is that resonating? I go, can you explain that? And she goes, yeah, you love the feminine essence, you love the beauty, you love what women represent non-sexually. You love all of that. But when it comes to the day-to-day of how women are and all of their flaws, it's harder for you because of your relationship with your mom. And I'm like, mind blown, right? And I'm like, oh my God, all of these behavior patterns I have, I could go off and blame girlfriends that I had in the past. I will not do that. It's all me. It's all me. And so there are some guys that are gonna laugh because women have been easy for them, but then they have other issues going on, right? For me, um, I've had a lot of issues in my dating life, tons. And so I've had to learn by being very scrappy, all the things that don't work with chicks, and ultimately it's never been all the methods that haven't been working. It's been my own internal compass, and I've had to constantly reiterate and relearn how to just be who I am, and then show that. That's been the hardest lesson for me ever, and I'm still trying to ground it. And now I'm not going to say women giving me attention. Women are responding to me. That's better. I really don't need the validation, and it's a slippery slope going down that route. But I was going down the path of, oh, if I'm just really spiritual, I'll call it in. If I do all my practices, I'll call it. That woman will just be magically attracted to me. It's absolute bullshit. And this is the point of losing the balls, because men in other countries that are horned up and just like going for it, many of them very animalistic. They have parasites, especially in Brazil, and they're just like a they're on a hedonic treadmill just trying to get laid. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily good, but it's also they're in the essence of their animal. Which, if you read like Rudolf Steiner's work and stuff like that, uh, men in the U.S. we've lost, smacking my belly if you're on the podcast. We've lost this belly, this abdomen area. We're just like, ah. It's this fucking savage inside. Ah. We've lost that. And that is what attracts not only the opposite sex, that is what repels the demonic forces that we will be fighting against when we have a woman, when we have a godly woman. When you attract a godly woman, and I'm not there yet, so I'm just speaking from what I'm receiving. When you attract a godly woman, there will be things that will be trying to break up that family unit, and we're already seeing it. Those things are already at play now. But in the past, it was like, if you look at older couples, they weren't indoctrinated with what we've been indoctrinated with. Like older couples, for them, it's like, I met my man in high school, and we've been together ever since. And I know some people, they talk about their grandparents with such reverence because their grandparents have never left each other's side. And I saw this with my friend Walter Bell. Walter Bell was a neighbor. He was this old black guy, a Vietnam War veteran, had PTSD hardcore, but the way that he got through life was he was hanging out with he wasn't even hanging out. He was hanging out in his garage. And one day, me and my friend Dylan rolled by, and we started talking shit with this guy. And he ended up becoming like one of our friends. He would go to our water polo games and all this stuff. And he would tell us all these crazy stories about war, about uh, everything. But the number one thing that he would talk about was his wife. His wife was always in the house. She would never come out into the garage with the boys. She let the boys have the boys' time. And he would say, you can disrespect me. You can call me whatever name you want. You could be a racist prick. I don't care. He goes, you never, ever say anything about my missus. And they were tight. They were super tight. And when Teresa passed away, bless her heart and soul, Walter lasted 3 months because she was everything to him. And that kind of love is like the programs that be want to completely strip that, because that love is powerful. That love is powerful. And so I've seen many of men. You hear these men talking now in relationships. They're like, it again. I'm not in a relationship right now, so I'm only trying to understand what I want my reality to look like in the future. Obviously, it's in God's hands, but I'm going to exercise my free will, of course. And I see a lot of men now when they're in the relationship or they get married. Oh yeah, the old ball and chain. Well, let me ask the missus if I can do that. And from the dynamics I've seen of relationships that actually work, I don't I don't think many women, they might argue that they don't want this, but I don't know too many women that don't respond to if they're in their essence and they're in their femininity and the man has helped facilitate that because he's being a man and there's polarity in the relationship and both of them have cleaned their closets. Uh, the man has got to be a fucking man and just be full daddy energy because he has to protect that. He first has to cultivate it, which is very difficult for some people. It's just like marketing. As a man, you got to market yourself. You got to put yourself out there. Whereas a woman, she's a flower in the garden, and she's the rose, and the gardener is looking for the right rose, right? Or many roses. He's going around to all these gardens. So the woman has to be protected by a masculine figure, her dad, and her dad can't be too domineering with like you got to go to church all the time, otherwise you're holding her head underwater and she's going to come up gasping for something. And then the man has to give enough space to let her see this is what a strong man is like. And I see so many men now, they're just soft. Like one of the best things I would like to start, I'm going to start saying this to people, especially if anyone's like getting testy. I'm going to go, hey man, I want I know right now it appears you want to fight with me, so here's what I propose. I'm gonna get my dad, you get your dad, and we're gonna wrestle. Your dad versus my dad. We could box too. That's cool. And me versus you, and we'll see who wins. That's the energy. That's the energy, and it doesn't matter if your dad is an absolute softie. It's like restore that bloodline. Get your balls back for your family. Restore the bloodline. You restore the bloodline by getting in your belly, getting into your primal essence, not being controlled by sexual impulse, but also not gaslighting yourself into believing that you need to wait an extra 5 years to be ready for you to finally go talk to chicks. I know a guy who's in his 50s, and I've told him, dude, you need to get your balls back. And he still hasn't. He still hasn't. And it's because he's created an identity of no, I'm just here to serve the almighty source. It's like, dude, serve God by having children, good children. And all of this isn't to pick on anyone. All of this just goes back to, do you believe you're a good man? Do you believe you're good enough and worthy enough to have a woman in your life? I'm speaking to myself. I got a lot of work still to do. And a lot of why my businesses and my channel are doing well right now, and I don't mean that by any metric standards. I mean, the essence of it, it's so aligned, and it's because I'm now finally being vulnerable. I'm finally telling people what's actually going on in my life rather than just holding back my words because I don't want to tell you, oh yeah, I've had trouble with women in the past or right now, or I don't think I'll be worthy in the future. Like Why is it a bad thing to share these things? And it's because in our society, we've created these norms. And there's no better way to get past those norms than being in a group with dudes. Being in a group with dudes who are all sharing their mutual understanding and passion for growth. Because that's what it means to be a man. That's what it means. You want to get your balls back? I know you do. Oh, Logan, I already have balls. Okay. Show me. Do not pull your pants down either. Show me. We won't even be having that conversation. I won't even have to ask. But it's like, oh, I don't have the business I want. I don't have a girl. I have a good connection with God and I'm super spiritual. Okay, well, what do you want? Well, I think this. It's like, dude, you're a man. Like, why would you not want to even if you don't want kids? Why would you not, at the very least, want to share your time, spend your time with one of the most beautiful things on earth, which is the divine feminine, the beauty. God created her for us. And we were created so she could actually fully open up and see her own beauty and feel it. That's what we're cultivating. The masculine, the man, is the container. He creates the space and the playground where the girl can be herself and just completely flourish. And then through that, the man becomes younger, way younger. You see 40-year-old dudes that get with like a 25-year-old chick. I saw this in Colombia. This dude is one guy I met. He was an absolute stud, big business guy, super successful on all fronts. And then he got to a point where he finally met this chick that he really liked, and she's just super inner feminine around him. And they're probably gonna have like 8 kids. Like, this dude's 45. And then what happens when men have kids? It's just like if the woman has a bunch of kids and the man, I'm gonna put full responsibility on the man for now, just for the sake of the argument. The man permits the woman to begin to become lazy because he's become lazy. So like if the woman just had kids and the man is still getting after it despite not getting sleep and getting to the gym and helping facilitate his woman taking care of her body still, no problem. But the second that man gets tired from the kids and is too tired and too stressed out and doesn't take care of himself, the whole family unit falls apart. This is why the divorce rates are so high. One would argue as well, it's because there's a massive disconnection from God. And the legal system is all just based off of contracts. Do you think lawyers get paid if people stay in a relationship? No. There's people who have whole entire practices that are just built on other people losing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna help this woman. What are you doing today, bro? Oh, what do you do for work? Yeah, I'm gonna help this woman screw over this man and take his kids away from him. How fucked is that? But it's the man's fault. Always. It's always our fault. It always will be. Always. And that is a lot of responsibility. But that's why we're stronger. That's why we have fucking testosterone coursing in our blood. That's why we get our balls back. We take them. We go knock on the door of the all of the places, the things, the people who have energetically intertwined with us and have been sucking our life force. That is what I mean when I say get your balls back. Get the animal back. You're not going to do that. You're not going to take my life force from me. You're not going to keep me here. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that anymore. Boundaries. So it's cool. It's cool to be able to reflect this. For those of you watching, thanks for being here. But yeah, I highly encourage going back to your roots in some form. I told so many people when I moved to Colombia, I'm like, I'm never coming back to California. I would never live here. And it's funny because I come back and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this place. It's me. I'm the problem. It's my responsibility to find joy wherever I am. If you put me in a prison, am I going to wither away or am I going to grow? Am I going to get absolutely stacked doing push-ups and burpees every day and meditating, like, and reading a bunch of books? There's people in prison, people who get into the gang system and they're screwed, right? And then there's other guys who will literally read law books until they become their own lawyer, and then they'll talk themselves out of prison. I have not seen this happen. I've seen stories. I wasn't there in the courtrooms, but incredible stories. It's like, how could someone who got put in prison, like, let's look at someone with like a marijuana charge. They got caught with marijuana 3 times before it was even a problem, or when it was a big problem. I'm thinking about some of these people too who got put in jail for 10 years, can't get a job when they come out because they had it in possession, something that is now legal. It's like, that's crazy. And none of them get out. But you have these people who go to jail and they decide, hey, when I get out, I'm going to start a business. And they go and do it and they make their pain their power. There is great redemption for all men who believe redemption is possible. On any given day, you can just wake up and choose different. Any given day. So many people believe that time is linear. It's an illusion. Boom. Boom. You can just make it happen. That's what happened with this channel. One day I woke up and everything shifted. And that wasn't a choice. It was a culmination of choices that I made that allowed me to clear my energetic body to the point where now I'm myself. I'm in my essence. There's some people that are born where they're born to have a good life and they're gifted and they share those gifts immediately. Most people are not that. If that's you, you probably wouldn't even be watching a video like this or any video. You're just out serving. So it's our duty to get in the belly and to reclaim what's ours. Because you do not want to be on your deathbed with regret. My dad gave me the best advice last night. He said the thing about the opportunity, and he said, you want to live your life where you have no regret. Mitigate as much regret as possible. Everyone's going to have regret, but mitigate it. Seize the opportunities that come. Don't wait. There's so much of, I've seen so much of this. And it goes back to men being men. I'm gonna be a good boy and go to church, and I'll meet my wife there. And I've seen guys who have done this. I've told them, I'm like, dude, you gotta start cold approaching, like putting yourself out there and realizing that you're worth something and you're worth sharing your essence with other people, especially women. And these guys will just keep going to church for years. They'll find the chick finally. They get in the relationship with her, and then they don't have any frame at all because they attracted her and they got what they wanted, but they didn't build any of the skill sets required to be able to retain the relationship. So then they're over giving. They give way too much of their time. Like, imagine being a woman, and the thing that attracted you to your man was that that guy was out there getting after it. He was getting his hands dirty in the world. You weren't seeing him all the time. When you first met, it was a couple of times, maybe a week max. Polarities there, super attracted. Then you move in together, and every day you smell his smelly farts, and you just see all of his behavior patterns of him not getting after it because he has you. It's like the guy who gets all the money and then he just stops. Well, most of the guys that have the ambition to get that money, they can never stop because they're like, this is who I am. I like this stuff. There's so many entrepreneurs that are pushing the passive income, chill on the beach, digital nomad laptop lifestyle. I know a guy who met Matt Gray in person, and he's like, yeah, that guy is not, he's not living. Oh, yeah, just 4 hours a week, and you run your whole business, and you're good, and you can just travel. It's like, well, did you live at all? Did you do any living? Bueller, any living? Any? Well, yeah, I spent all my time just scaling this thing. It's all frame. It's all frame. How do I see my reality, and how am I going to stand strong in the vision of that reality until it comes to fruition? Strength. That's why smart cars are just the gayest thing I've ever seen. Like, look at this thing. Look at this truck. This is what is it. So many Europeans are like, what is up with you guys in trucks in America? It's like, we're American. We like it big and bad and bold. And we like to overconsume. But yeah, pull up to a date with a girl you're trying to court in a smart car. That's it. That's all I got today. But yeah, get your balls back. One of the ways you can do that, join well, you can't join, apply for the Ubuntu Fellowship. The link's below. That's our men's community, and I say ours because it's not mine. I put it together. It's my men's community. No, it's our men's community, and there's some sick dudes in there. Dudes with families, single dudes, doesn't matter. What matters is growth and wanting to be around other men. A lot of guys I know, good leaders, many of them great leaders, but they're not as great as that they ever could be because they're not around other guys. It's like you got to be around other guys to let you know that you're not as cool as you think you are. To remind you that you're the thing that you keep saying you want is not there because you keep acting differently. So you got to be around these guys. I'm in a group right now, a different group where there's guys that are way stronger than me, and I'm like, I've tried all these things over the years and it hasn't worked. It was like we can blame it on whatever method, but at the end of the day, my mind wasn't right. And so I didn't have the right habits and routines to make things happen. And I'm seeing other guys that have made it happen. And I'm like, yeah, they're just consistently getting after it. And when I see them every day consistently getting after it, and I see a picture of a dude in the gym, like this morning, I took a picture. It was like Sunday service. It's Sunday. I'm in the gym at 6 a.m. doing a sauna and working out. It's like when you see that, it's a hell of a lot easier to tell your missus, hey, I'm strapping on a weight vest and walking to the park with the kids. If you want to come, if not, I'll be getting after it. But you got to get a weight vest too, honey. It's like way easier. And then the polarity comes back in your life with everything, with women, with business. You want to do good in business, you gotta be a man. It's crazy because I shot that video last week, the first one that I put on the YouTube channel in a while, about being 31 and moving back in with my dad. And I had 5 people call me and they're like, dude, keep doing this. Keep sharing this stuff. It's because I'm showing up. I'm showing up with my balls. And showing up with your balls is being vulnerable. It's really counterintuitive. It's super counterintuitive. It's like, hey, I feel like shit right now. I don't know what to do. You tell another guy that, and there's gonna be some that might roast you. And then the funny thing is, the guys that I've been roasted in groups, and if it triggers me, it means that I just need to stop being soft and I need to get my balls back. A man with his balls cannot be triggered. It's like, I know who I am. I know what I'm here to do. And let's laugh. Let's laugh. That's it. So you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Go order a weight vest if you don't have one already. Start walking around town with the weight vest on. You'll have people start coming up to you like, "Are you security?" It's like, could be for you if you introduce me to your daughter. that that energy. Later.